Since I was about this tall, I remember fishing with my dad in the High Sierra Mountains in California. Loved to fish, never stopped doing it, ended up moving to Colorado Springs, where they have a totally different kind of fishing than I encountered when I was with my dad as a kid. It's called fly fishing, and I thought I was a great fisherman prior to coming to Colorado, but what I learned was that though I knew how to fish and I was very good at it, fly fishing was a completely different art. You had to understand the way that the water flowed and where the likely pockets were, where fish would hide, where food might circulate, that sort of thing. And I learned a valuable lesson in all of that, and that was that sometimes we think we know everything about something, and we don't know all that much. Similarly, if I were to stand before any parish and ask the simple question, how many of you could tell me what is prayer? Just about everybody would raise their hand. And if I said, well, could you define vocal prayer? Some hands would go down, still more hands would stay up. But if I said, could you tell me the difference between vocal prayer and mental prayer, meditation? What would happen then is a lot of hands would go down, especially if they thought I was going to call them to the front. And then if I said, now explain to me the difference between meditation, mental prayer of that kind, and then contemplation, most hands would go down, and the ones that stayed up, in my experience, would not necessarily be on the mark. And this is not a good thing, because prayer is really that reality that God calls us into this relationship where we converse with Him, where we hear His voice, where He hears from us. As St. Therese says, it's a cry of the heart to God. If you can imagine the person that you love the most in your life, and a great moment that you had with them, and the love that you felt between you and them, and you could then imagine what you might have said to them, how you might have expressed your love, how you might have received love from them back. Well, a lot of people don't understand that that's actually a reality or a normal part of our relationship in prayer with God. And I know for a fact if they understood that, they would never shy away from learning about prayer and exploring prayer. So I encourage you today that though you may know a little bit about prayer, God has more to show you than you could ever discover if you didn't say yes to Him and push out, follow what Jesus said, put out into the deep, do something a little different. What you're going to discover will change your life.
To learn more, click here or go to SpiritualDirection.com/pray. These reflections are brought to you by Catholics United for the Faith and the generous supporters of the work of SpiritualDirection.com.